First of all, I'd like to apologize today or this week's fall break for us, and I forgot to tell Brent and Darius about it, and so they're not here. So you just got me. You're stuck with me today. So apologize for that. But got Charlotte this week, like AC said, and they're 3-3 overall, like us. They're 2-1 in the conference, like us. They're coming off a big win against Western Kentucky. It's a much improved team from last year. And probably I told our team this yesterday that this is the best Charlotte team we've played. Gotten a little bit better each year. And this year, like I said, I feel like it's their best team, that he's had. They're really good on defense. They're probably up there in all the statistical categories within the conference. Doing a great job against the run, doing a great job total defense. I mean, it's a really good defense. Their front seven is big and active. They can run, and their back end isn't giving up very many big plays. So, it's evident by what they did. Limiting Western Kentucky to 14 points, and Western scored 7 there. In the last minute or so, couple minutes of the game. So. They're doing a really good job creating turnover. They're one of the top teams in the conference in time of possession, so they're limiting, the opportunities that you get as an offense. So doing a good job. Their offensive line may be the best offensive line we've played to this date in conference play. To date. So they got a really good offensive line. They're running the ball, and they're very efficient in the passing game. And as always, they've always been good in the kicking game. And this year's no different from that standpoint. So, I think they're a lot more multiple on both sides of the ball, but more so on defensively. They very seldom do you get the same look. 2 plays in a row, very seldom do you get the same. You're going to get the same, but the schemes are so much different from game 1 to game 2, game 2 to game 3. Each game has been a different scheme. They're bringing more pressure than they did last year. They're very, like I said, they're more multiple than they've been in the past. And then offensively, they're probably hanging their hat a little bit more on the running game.
Their offensive line, how do you create pressure and get in the backfield to stop that good running game that they have?
It's hard to do when you play good teams. That's hard to do. We did a good job last week of stopping the run, and we've got to continue to do that. But that's going to be a challenge. That's a challenge for us. And sacks are hard to come by, against certain teams because the quarterback can get the ball out so fast, so that's always a little bit of a. You want to get pressure, you got to get back there and do that. It's going to be hard against this team because their line is good and their quarterback is good.
Coach, what's Brent's status, and do you think he plays on Saturday?
After a good win, you got to rebound also, and that's what we do. And practice was shortened a little bit yesterday because of the rain, and we got some lightning, and we had to come off the field. And we didn't go in the mini gyms. We didn't go in there, but we got out there. We got about 30 minutes of work in, 25 minutes of work before we had to come off. But we got out there, and like I said, this team. I like this team. That hadn't changed. And, we got kicked in the teeth. You're sick to your stomach. We all are, or all were. And but it's time to move on, and that's what we do.
Asher came in and played really well for you guys, especially using his legs. How important is that going to be against a good rushing defense if he has to play on Saturday?
Well, we got to be able to run the ball. And, again, running production from our running backs. That's where we've got to get more running yards. The quarterback is always going to be a key. But you don't want to come out. I guess 120 yards, whatever we had rushing between Brent and Asher, and 50 or 60. with everybody else. So we've got to be more production. We got to get more production from our running backs, but it's going to be a key. We got to be able to run the ball. We couldn't make much happen in the passing game against Florida International when Brent went out, and we became one-dimensional. And that's
Offensively, like you said, they are really focused on the rushing game. Junior running back Benny LeMay is back for them again this year. What does he do so well for them?
he's a good, hard-nosed, tough downhill runner. I think he's got deceptive speed. You can see him running away from people. He does a good job in the passing game too. So to me, he's a complete back. He can do a lot of good things for him. He can get, the inside zone runs, the outside stretch, the outside zone runs. He does a good job setting up his blocks. But he's a good running back. I haven't seen all the Conference USA statistics yet, but I bet he's up there pretty decent, in the overall stats. He's there that period where you're just playing games that don't count as you build your program. That's hard to recruit guys to say, hey, we're going to be Division I one day, or we're going to be in Conference USA one day. You're selling kids on a dream, on a hope that that's going to happen. And in recruiting, sometimes that's hard for them to understand. And now that he's been in Conference USA now for this being the fourth year, now he's able to go out. They've got great facilities. If you guys ever been to Charlotte now, they've got great facilities. They got a nice, and he doesn't have to sell those guys, recruits, on a hope that, one day we're going to be this, or one day we're going to have this. He's got it now. And so I think he's got really good players, and that's not to say he didn't have good players before, but now, these are his guys that, he's selected to compete in Conference USA.
Do you guys do you think the players take any more pride on this game being on homecoming to come out and play well?
I doubt it. Because every game is, it's got some label on it now, and our focus is, to go play this game and do whatever it takes to win this game, and don't get caught up in it's blackout. Win this game, and we want to win. We just want to win. It doesn't matter if it's homecoming, blackout, senior day, all that kind of stuff. It's a game that we got to win.
You touched on them having a new quarterback. He's a freshman. What have you kind of seen from him? He's completing about 65% of his passes, being pretty efficient. Are they trying not to have him do too much, or do you think he's kind of has a grasp of the offense and what they're trying to do?
I can't really answer that part, how much of a grasp he has, and if he's doing I'm sure he does. I'm sure he has. But, that's a question that their coaches have to answer. But to me, he's doing a great job of leading his team. He's doing a great job of protecting the football. He's doing a good job of, doing what they want him to do. I just, he's good arm. He's got guys around, and they got a good. They're 3, and they've lost, beat by 8, who's pretty dang. They got a good team.
Had 2 teams on the road. How nice is it playing for them this week?
This is a hard grind, and don't realize. You look at, at Waymark. We've only 6 games on the road. Hard to do. 4 of us on the road coming.
You guys have had 2 tough games on the road in a row. How nice is it to come back and play in Floyd Stadium this week?
This has been a hard grind now, and people don't realize. And you look at it, at the halfway mark, we've only 4 of our 6 games have been on the road. That's hard to do. 4 of our 6 have been on the road, coming off. 2 very emotional. You got school and everything, so you think about it. 4 of your first 6 games have been on the road, and then who you've had to play. Who we played. So I hope everybody comes out, supports this team, man. We need a great crowd. Like you said, it is homecoming. A lot of people are going to come back. The weather's going to be nice, and it'd be nothing better for these guys to see that stadium full and energize them and get this thing rolling.
How hard is it with Javonte being out for the first half of the game? Who kind of fills in that role for him? Is it going to be Kylan, or are you going to have kind of a rotation before he comes back in the third quarter?
Yeah, we'll evaluate that as it goes this week. Right now, looking at it, if today were Saturday, you look at Wesley Bush and Kylan and Strib.